Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black, White, and Red All Over. I'm Victor Danders, the hardest working man in comics.
Ryan Seymour, king of Comic Town.
Yes, he is, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some great books here.
Yes.
In fact, we've got a lot of great books here. Though we've got all three that are the same up at the top here, the honorable mentions is wide and varied.
Yes, very different.
Where do we start? Because
That's tough.
we got a lot to talk about.
Because we've got, three,
Yeah.
6. We have 9 different titles.
9 different
this week,
books, yes.
8 of which are really good. and one that I was just kind of like, yeah. Let's get that one out of the way.
Let's get that. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Because you tried to read this one also.
I tried.
Now, normally with our show, we like to focus on the quality.
Yes.
And there's a ton coming out.
Sure.
I want to like this. It's Rorschach number 2, Tom King,
Right.
who writes amazing stuff, generally speaking. This is just so complex and dry that
I thought it was me.
No.
I thought it was me.
no,
Thank you.
and I hate it because it's the Watchmen universe,
Right.
It's a murder mystery.
It has all the parts and
Yeah.
pieces that should make it great, but something about it is worse than dry toast. And I didn't hate the first issue, but this one was impossible for me to get through.
Yeah,
I didn't even flip through it to see if there was something cool that happened.
no, I made it through though.
Okay.
But
No?
I get my books for free.
Dang it.
I don't know. Let us know what you think. If you pick this up, give us a read, comment below, and let us know what you think.
Yeah, because that's we kind of need to know, maybe it's in the air tonight. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something.
Because I could be a tasteless offender.
No. Now this one I picked up because last week's 52 was interesting. So I got The Amazing Spider-Man number 53. We've got Nick Spencer, Mark Bagley. I mean, come on, legendary. Del and Delgado finishing up the creative team. And okay, so from what we saw at the end of last issue, and because it was just a week ago, I'm not going to spoil it. But it was really disconcerting to me to be like,
yeah, there'd be
well, you seem awful okay.
Yeah.
In light of what we thought happened.
months of physical therapy to try to...
No, real quick. So the big thing is the reveal of who this evil baddie is.
Okay.
And I think it's going to make this book kind of shoot up on the speculators market because the reveal is that...
Oh.
Yes.
It is impossible to mistake that hairdo.
At all. You know that one, 100%. I'm still trying to figure out how to do it. Is it a wave cap? Is it do-rag?
Maybe?
I don't know. Obviously, that's a clue. If you know what we're referring to in any sort of fashion, and you should, that should give you a clue. But it might not be who you think we're talking about. I picked it up because I thought it was going to be an interesting, follow-through. And it is. It reads really fast. Bagley's artwork, though, is almost quintessential. It's hard to think of another person in my generation that has as big of an impact on Spider-Man.
Yeah. Ultimate Spider-Man, that entire run.
Exactly. So very important. Before that, the 90s run on Spider-Man. Maybe John Romita Jr. might?
Maybe. His stuff was awesome.
Yeah, but
Bagley was one of those generation-defining runs.
He's how we draw Spider-Man in a lot of ways. So, it was a fun read, quick read, but the biggest thing about it is a major reveal as to who the big new baddie is. I can't even think of the baddie's name. What is his name?
Kindred, thank you.
They're spirits. That's all I'm going to say.
Dang it. All right. From Behemoth Comics.
That cover is dope.
It is. It's so sparse and so bleak, which is a lot like the story and the movie it's based on. All right. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
Yes.
Is a horror movie that came out, I think, 2014.
Yep.
And I ran black and white. Didn't get a lot of press here stateside, and this is the story from the movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's got this
old
school, early '90s indie vibe to
it
art wise. The paper, I think, is newspaper.
It's kind of newsprint-ish,
which gives it this even more
oh, it smells good.
So it's got this really cool vibe to it, and it's the story of this vampire in Iran who just happens to be a little girl, and she just hunts people who abuse children and women. That's her
That's her jam.
Yeah, and there you go. So if you haven't seen the movie, I recommend seeing the movie.
Yes.
If you have seen Let Me In, same sort of vibe with it. So yeah, definitely.
That's good stuff.
Good stuff.
I like it. All right, so I took on the newest issue of Fantastic Four. It's Fantastic Four number 26, Legacy numbering 671, with Dan Slott, R.B. Silva, Jesus Arbutov. Crazy dope stuff, right? Okay. This one is, I mean, it's chock full of references, right? We're talking, you'd have to have read earlier Dan Slott run stuff. You'd have to know, like, who the Power Pack, family is. You'd have to know that at one point, Johnny Storm thought he was going to marry Alicia Masters, who is now currently married to Ben Grimm. But it wasn't Alicia Masters who he was going to marry. It was somebody else. Like, this is like a referential book, but it's kind of dope. One of the big things here is this makes a very interesting definitive statement about Franklin Richards that I think is kind of nuts. Like, so they've got this Forever Gate thing that can take you wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
And Franklin gets it into his mind that he knows where he wants to go. And he attempts to go and gets told, nah, you're not allowed. And so there's this presentation. Yes.
Wow.
There's this presentation. That line right there suggests that there is a subconscious reaction that he was able to do, and it's not legit. And I'm like, that's probably the most important moment of this entire book. And I hope that the internet blows up about it. If not, I will start blogging just so I can talk about that, because that is huge.
Yeah.
That is absolutely huge. And the rationale for it becomes so sad and perfect for who Franklin Richards is. It could change the game. So I shout out to you, Dan Slott, for making that moment happen, because that was a dope one. Yeah.
From Vault Comics.
Yes.
A Dark Interlude number 1. It feels like it's more than your normal 28-page book. Very few ads, packed just with comic-y goodness.
Nice.
The art style throws back to, I'm trying to think of it, because it's very pencil-y, but
it is.
It works especially well with this book, because most of the story takes place in this mystical realm that takes place, that is outside of our reality.
Right.
And it has, if you've been missing the Sandman, like the Neil Gaiman Vertigo Sandman stuff in that world, I highly recommend checking this out.
That cover definitely speaks that.
Yeah, because it's the story, without spoiling anything, every generation, the muse chooses the greatest artist or writer of that generation.
Right.
And it is then their job to go to this other place and destroy, kill the greatest fear of that generation, and then he or she replaces it with their greatest story. And it's a cycle that keeps repeating until just recently, where it is broken in one of the most messed up, horrible things. Yeah, so it's completely off track, and the people that are in control of the other side are trying to fix things, and they can't.
Oh my God, that sounds brilliant.
High concept, wonderfully executed. Fans of Sandman, fans of Die from Image. I think Kieran Gillen writes that one. Yeah, this is amazing. I highly recommend checking it out.
The art reminds me of the BPRD series a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
So if you like that vibe too, I think artistically that's in line there. I like that. From Boom Studios.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of Kieran Gillen, Dan Mora, Tamara Bond-Villain, Once and Future number 13. I need this mainlined into my heart and mind. Number one, Graham is still my freaking favorite.
Yeah.
But so everything, okay, more is happening. This is a brand new story arc. Story arc is called what is it? The something of the Magpies. Wait, let me make sure I say this right. The Parliament of Magpies. It starts off in one of the most this is bad. Bottom line, I mean, you see what we're dealing with here, and again, it's building on the notion of there are stories that are cultural stories, and you know them one way, but there are other ways they can be interpreted. Like literally, we start off with Graham reciting a limerick of sorts, but then she recognizes that there's 2 different versions of this limerick, and the question is which one is applicable right now. And seeing it play out is so freaking cool. There are stories that you tell, and there's stories that you know. That's the whole context of this whole series, and it's so awesome to see it play out. Get this book. Get it. And it's only in book 13. I feel like I've lived with this thing for like years. That's crazy. I love it. Absolutely love it.
I think it's time for what we consider the 3 best books of the week.
Literally. How do we rate these 3? That becomes the hard part. Yeah. Like separating them from the rest was fairly simple because they do resonate. But picking which ones we talk about first and foremost.
Yeah. That's really tough because there's a perennial book that we're high on every time it comes out.
Yes.
Then there's another one which
you know what? This one I think becomes the most convoluted of the 3. So I say we talk about this one first.
Yeah, that works.
So from the Miranda brothers, AfterShock, We Live number 2. And when I say convoluted, please understand that it's up here for a reason.
Yeah.
Like it earns its spot. The thing that makes it convoluted is that story changes very rapidly. Like if you're not locked in, you could lose yourself really quickly. But I tell you what, those first moments,
right? The stakes escalated very, very quickly.
So quickly. Once more, and again, I got to give a shout out to AfterShock for being so forward in their storytelling. Because did you scan it? Did you scan this? Mm-hmm. There's a QR code that you can scan. It's a beautiful splash page. If you scan it, it takes you to an experience that you will enjoy. Like you just will enjoy it. Like it's so wonderful. Like
this. I know humans in this, and takes place in an apocalyptic setting,
right?
Where humanity will die off, but there are aliens.
There's a plan. They're
going to
safeguard.
They're going to take some children and create a new place. This apocalypse is so beautiful. Like it's not your typical bleak. There's like fantastic looking monsters. The jade algae area.
Oh my god!
Is like that's the kind of thing that you would see like Instagram influencers
definitely
would be like, oh, here I'm vacationing in the jade algae.
But what's crazy, like the most crazy about it, is like the creatures look straight out of Avatar.
Yeah, they really do.
And I'm not talking about Last Airbender. I'm talking about the James Cameron like Avatar goodness. And these things are frightening. Yeah. And I mean, he tried to tell him.
Yeah.
He told him.
Like, guys. And the kids, the way the kids are written, they're written like kids.
Yes.
They're not like sophisticated people that just happen to be like really short and young.
No.
They're actual.
They're children.
Yeah.
They're children.
Trying to navigate this terrifying world because even though the things are beautiful, they're lethal.
Yes.
Like to an absurd extent. And oh my gosh,
it's so beautiful. I enjoyed this so much. And like I said, it takes a turn in terms of the narrative where you could get lost. So I would recommend you read it twice.
Yes.
On general principle, because there's some things that like you got to really pay attention to how this works, why it works. But it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, we start to get backstory. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, such beautiful.
And if you missed
storytelling,
number 1, which a lot of people did, it spiked week 1. The second print hits the shelves this week also.
Excellent. And again, only 2 books in, so you've got plenty of time to jump in and recognize the story for the greatness that it is. All right, I picked that one. You're next.
Let's do this one and hit this one up on the way out.
Surely.
Alrighty. Also from Boom Studios, we've got Something is Killing the Children number 12. The beautiful, gory, violent world where these monsters are real. We start to find out what goes into their
how they become how they target.
Yes.
Yeah, how they target a location, we get an understanding of. And it is sad and I mean, like, unfortunate.
Yeah.
Had no clue.
Yeah. And when they started explaining that, I was just like
I've done that. Like I know I've embellished a story or told a story or something without any intent of it ever coming true, and then
your friends turn into a can of SpaghettiOs. Like, it's just it's crazy.
Yeah.
The Order, we get to see more of the Order of St. George.
Now listen, there's one thing that they do, the Order does, and the simplicity of it.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
100. The simplicity, I was like,
oh
my God. Well, that's highly effective and very simple.
Yeah.
Like, who would question it? Anyone that would it would take too long to follow up, and
yeah. No, it's simple and it's brilliant. Like, because that was one of my questions. Like, how are they going to do this?
Right.
And then okay.
It's one of those things like, y'all have definitely done this before. Like, this is not a first time for these guys, and you can clearly feel that.
Yeah.
Erica, I love her to death. I think she's out of her depth right now.
Yeah.
She's reached the max of what her abilities are, but oh man, this is so greatly tied up.
Yeah.
Like, the way that they bring all this together is so smart. James, you're a genius, dude. Like, I got to give you mad credit here. That's awesome. James Tynion IV, Werther Eldera, and Miguel Muerto. Wow, I couldn't get that MU out there. You guys are firing all cylinders.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I mean, but they're so quick for it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I still want to know about the other team.
Listen, I think that's part of the reason why this is going this way, because she seems to be of one side.
Yeah.
And this seems to be another.
Yeah.
So I am uber excited to see where this goes. I know, right? Like, ugh.
Yeah. This is such. I hate that it's a mini. I love that it's a miniseries because there's a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yes.
It's well structured.
Yes.
I hate that it's a miniseries because it has to end.
And we're almost there.
Yeah.
Grendel, Kentucky. This book's 3 of 4. This is such suck. Written by Jeff McCumsey, art by Tommy Lee Edwards. I said before on the first issue, I picked this up because Tommy Lee Edwards is an art god, and I worship at his feet.
Yeah.
Jeff, I am a fan now and forevermore because your storytelling, you got the chops, bruh. You got the chops. Yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. It's a place called Grendel, Kentucky. It's down home as down home can be, right? Former mining town, has a crazy turnaround. Suddenly, pot haven of Kentucky, basically.
Yeah.
Right? But the why.
Yeah. Because you gotta think, if the environment didn't change, we didn't get more rain than we normally do, what would go into something like that? And we find out.
Oh, do we?
And it is such an amazing deal.
Yes.
That is made to reach that point.
Yes.
And the nonchalance about it. Like, that's the thing that kind of blows my mind. It was like, that's just how we do it.
Like, this is what we do. Like, what do you...
No.
What do you mean? That's not it? It is like a Grindhouse movie in the making, right? Like, in book form. But it's not unsophisticated.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, it's not exploitive. It's not schlocky.
Yeah.
It's dope. Like, literally. But, like, it's amazing because the characters are all authentic. You got hardcore biker gang run by ladies, made of ladies.
Yeah.
But you don't cross them because you know better. And it's not like a caricature. Like, they just seem like they're really about that action. And you know it. Like, everybody knows it. Like, nobody's like, oh, look at here, little girl. Like, no one plays that stupid card because they all have this understanding. Like, no, these ladies will kill you.
Yeah, I totally the Grindhouse thing. It's like a great concept for a Grindhouse movie. You would have the exploitative stuff, but what's happening is is Jeff has stripped away the exploitive stuff.
Yes.
And has filled in those gaps with amazing, complex storytelling that helps you engage with these characters. You're like, okay, that sucks. I feel for them.
Right.
And
you're there. Like, they become living, breathing things as opposed to cartoons.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the most amazing part is when you get the story of the deal, you kind of get it. Like, you're like, well, I mean, if given that circumstances, what else could you do?
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, I mean, theoretically, you can't go back to the mines.
Right. We've seen what happens.
Right. Like, and for the most part, like, not even just that part, but if they had a cave-in, and I'm not saying that thing's not responsible for the cave-in, but if it had a cave-in, it's not safe to be in there anyway. So
you have to create a completely separate mine.
Total different.
Redo that. And then this town doesn't have any of the capabilities to truly take care of the health needs of a coal mining area.
Can't do it. Yeah. So this circumstance, like, I get it. And now again, like, when you see go back to that first issue and see their dad decked out, and you're like, oh,
because he was making that choice,
right? Like, nah, I'm not doing this thing no more. This is the new way. I'm gonna end this. And well, you tried. A for effort. That looks bigger and badder. Okay,
but I'll ask you off camera.
Okay. Oh, wait. No, you don't think that's?
I wonder.
That would be dark.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. This is really absurd.
Oh my God.
AWA. I mean, they're putting out some great stuff too.
Yeah. AWA Upshot is kind of killing the game right now by just telling great stories in comic form, and really, that's going for everybody that is not a Marvel DC comic right now. Like, I'm not even saying that like as a mainstream hater. I love the mainstream, but the best stories are coming from the other guys.
Yeah.
Like
the Image.
Yeah.
Started it with letting creators come in,
right,
own their stuff, put their stuff out.
Yep.
And then others have taken that playbook and expanded on it to give us these rich, brilliant new worlds. Mm-hmm. And I love it.
Yeah. They're when they have like true stakes, when characters you love can die and stories can end in horrible ways. It's got something better, man. And I think we as readers, we get more out of it because the creators get to put more into it. Yeah. So I'm not saying that, corporate comics are bad, but you might want to let creators just kind of have their way for a while because they're telling better stories that way, man.
Yep.
Although, Dan Slott did,
he gets FF.
Ooh, and man.
That's huge.
That's huge because that has ramifications not just for FF, but long-form other titles.
Yeah.
So, woo! Yeah. That's some dope stuff. So, yes. If this is your first time watching, definitely click the like button. Let us know that you like enjoying that you are enjoying the show. Mm-hmm. Put in some comments. Tell us some things. What are you reading? What should we be reading? Yeah. We didn't read the best books this week. We need your input, right? And to make sure that you get this magic every week,
click the subscribe and click the bell.
Yes.
And that will give you the notification when our spoiler-free or zero spoiler content hits the interwebs.
That's right. And you get to choose whether or not you want them every week or maybe sometimes you want to, spread it out a little bit. You get it all the time, though, because we're here every week. Mm-hmm. Every week.
Yep.
For you.
I'm actually trapped in the store as part of a bargain with an independent.
No, you can't talk about it.
Yeah,
you can't talk about it. Yeah.
Help. Free me.
You have to rub his belly 2 times, and he doesn't like to be touched.
Yeah, that's sucks to be me.